season replays, fantasy drafts, ultimate created leagues, and what if tournaments. It's Coffee Cup Games with the coach, DKM. Hey, this is Coach DK, and we are continuing our series as we're getting ready to wrap up the regular season. We are back in the American League. Today we have the Detroit Wolverines, who are 75 and 66, going against the Cleveland Babes, who are 75 and 66. So obviously we have a really good balanced teams going against each other, both of them with winning records, both of them with the same record. So Detroit and Cleveland are going to be battling it out today. Just taking a look at the playoffs. We have, as you can tell, they are tied for third place in the American League with the Milwaukee Creams. So a really, really tight race for 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, you do not want to be 5. That means you're going to be starting off the playoffs on the road, going against the number 4 team. Number 3 team, obviously, is going to be playing a much weaker squad. But Detroit and Cleveland both are, tied for third. And as you can tell, in the original year 1900, Detroit did come in 4th. They did have a winning record. Cleveland did have a losing record. They came in 5th. But if you look at the very, very top, you'll see some of the games that are going on today. Milwaukee, who is the 4th team listed, they are actually going against Indianapolis. So another really, really good game going on here. Today you got Brooklyn and Boston, the number 1 and 2 teams in the National League, battling it out. You got Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, both within a few games of each other, and you got New York and Cincinnati, which are bottom of the barrel, struggling teams. Buffalo and Kansas City are pretty close. They're within 5 games of each other. So some really, really good games going on today. We chose to do this one because they are obviously tied. That 3, 4, 5 seems to be the closest race going on, particularly in the American League. You do have some tight races with Chicago, Philadelphia, New York in the National League, which is the 5, 6, 7 slots. Pittsburgh seems to have been separating themselves from that group. They have moved all the way up to 4th place now, trying to catch St. Louis. St. Louis is playing Chicago, so you got a battle of 3 and 5 there. But playoffs are obviously highly in the mix. All these games matter. So let's just go ahead and let's just look at the lineups real quick. For Detroit, we have Casey leading off, the third baseman. You got Jones, the center fielder, batting second. You got Dillon, the first baseman, batting third. Eager, the right fielder, batting fourth. McAllister, the left fielder, batting fifth. Shaw, the catcher, is going to be batting sixth. Ryan, the second baseman, batting seventh. And Kid Elberfeld, the shortstop, will be batting in the 8th spot, and on the mound will be Ed Siver. He has started 7 games, only 7 games this year, but he does have a 10-4 record, so he's been used primarily in relief. He has a 2.43 ERA. In the last 10 games, he has picked up a win, and he has gotten 2 saves. So he's going to be starting on the mound for them today, for Detroit. And for Cleveland, your home team being managed by yours truly. We got Pickering in center field leading off. He's been on fire lately, hitting 444. You got Genins, the left fielder, batting second. You got LaChance, who's been hitting 372 in the last week and a half. He's going to be playing first and batting third. Sullivan, the third baseman, is batting fourth. Buelo, the shortstop, is batting fifth. Jones, the right fielder, will be batting sixth. You got Flood, the second baseman, batting seventh, and you got Krisham, the catcher, batting eighth. On the mound will be Hart. He is a starter, unlike a regular starter, unlike Siver. He has started 34 games. He's got a very respectable 16-3 record, a very, very good 2.16 ERA. In the last 10 games, last 10 days, unfortunately, he has pitched 12 innings, and he has given up 9 earned runs. So he has not been doing well recently. Not the stats you want to see. But before we hop into the action, I'm just going to ask to like the channel, subscribe, leave a comment, and let's just get ready to hop into the action. All right, so we are playing at League Park in Cleveland. On the mound, as mentioned earlier, it's Bill Hart for the home team, and first to face him will be the third baseman Casey, who is hitting .316 this year, which is great compared to his original 1900 average of .260. So here's the pitch, and it is going to be a walk. Casey has good speed, but it doesn't help that Hart is a +2 and Christian, the catcher, is a +1. So we're going to be setting ourselves off for some failure today. But it's going to be a fly ball to right field as Jones, who's hitting .309 this year, another batter who's well above his near 1900 average. He was only hitting like around .216, I think it was, originally, so he's doing well. Next up is Dylan, the first baseman. He's hitting .310 this year. He does have 3 home runs. And so he's going to be up. They are going to steal. We are going to why not? And unfortunately, the why not just got them to third base. So probably should have just eaten the ball and just not taken the throw. But Casey's going to get a steal, and he's going to be able to advance to third on the throwing error by Christian. Dylan's up. He's going to line out the second base to Flood. That's going to make 2 away. And next up is Yeager. He needs a 1-3. He's hitting .239. Originally, he only hit .219 or .214 or something like that. So another guy who's above his average by far. And finally, we're going to face somebody who's not been having the same kind of year. McAllister originally hit .306. He's only hitting .256. So we finally get to hear or to face somebody who's been struggling this year. McAllister's going to hit a ground ball to third base. That will end the inning as he flips it over to second for the fielder's choice. But they did get 1 run on 1 hit and an error. So we are down 1-0. Pickering's going to be up. He is hitting .365, one of the best hitters in the American League. He's going to take first. He has got a lot of speed, but Seaver is a 0 with his hold, and Shaw is a -1 with his arm. So still believe we can get a chance of getting steal here with 70% opportunity. We are not able to get the lead, so we are not going to take advantage of that. Genins up. He's hitting .303 this year. He needs a 1-2 for a triple. He's going to get a single with a 13 roll. That is going to advance Pickering to third. We will try to see if we can get Genins all the way to second, putting 2 runners in scoring position. Excuse me. I do have a tickle today. And unfortunately, he gets picked off. That is horrid. Oh, LaChance hits a deep fly ball. It needs to be a 1 to get out of here. It does not, but it goes to that deep corner and center or left, center left, right in this little nook. And so he's going to come out with a triple and not get in the run. Sullivan's up. He's hitting .276 this year. He is going to hit a ground ball to the pitcher. We are going to hold the runner, let them get the easy out at first. In the first inning, we're not going to take our chances. Buelo is up. He needs the 1-4. He gets the 3. He originally hit .354. He is almost 100 points below that at .255. But he does get a big hit here, giving us an early 2-1 lead. That's our 4th hit so far in the first inning. Next up is Jones. He is only hitting .200, but he needs a 1-18. He gets an easy one of a 3, so that's going to be able to put runners on the corners. Jones on first, Buelo on third, and Flood is up. We really could use another run with all of these hits, and it's going to happen. We are going to get another run here. We are going to send Jones to third. They are going to give him the base as we now continue to have runners on first and third. Our 6th hit and 3rd run of the inning. I'm not surprised, or I'm kind of surprised that they haven't brought somebody in to talk to Cyver, who has been struggling this game. But Christian, our number 8 batter and catcher, is going to be up. He's going to hit a ground ball to short to Kid Elberfeld. He's got average range, and he cannot handle it, giving them an error and keeping the inning alive with runners on first and second. Now finally our pitcher is up, Hart. And he is going to finally end the inning. And that will take us to the second as we jump up on a 4-1 lead on 6 hits and air. Shaw is going to be leading off for them. He's going to hit a line ball to first base. That's going to be an easy out. Looks like the batter got shaken up, but he's okay. Next up is Ryan, the second baseman. He's going to hit a ground ball back to the pitcher. Next up is going to be Kid Elberfeld. He's hitting over 300 this year. His stat lines are pretty close with his season at bats. He does have 17 doubles and 3 triples, so 20 base hits. Originally he had 16. His 34 RBIs, a little bit lower than his original 41, and not nearly as many steals as he has, only 13 versus originally having 28. He's going to hit a ground ball to first base, so Chance, one of our best fielders, has a range of 2. He's going to get there. He's going to flip it to the pitcher covering the base, and that will end the inning. Pickering's going to be up. He's going to draw a walk after singling the first time. And so that's going to be a good start for us. So we're going to try to steal. Doesn't quite get the lead. Next up is going to be Genins, who got picked off at first the last time. He needs the 1-11 for a double. He's going to pull 4. Pickering does have some wheels with a 17 running, but it's not going to be enough to be able to test. We're just going to go ahead and keep him at third. Runners on second and third. LaChance is up. He tripled the last time, got an RBI. He is hitting 334, and he needs a 1-2. Unfortunately, it's going to be a 7, so he's going to line out for the first out of the inning. Sullivan's up. He's going to hit a ground ball to the pitcher. He's going to be over to first, and we do not advance the runner. So runners on second and third with no outs, and they are still standing there. Buelo, who had singled the last time, is up. And they are going to walk him, wanting to face Jones, which may not be a bad idea, as he is hitting only 212 this year. But he did single the last time, and this time, unfortunately, he is going to hit a ground ball to the shortstop, who's going to flip it on over to first. That is going to end the inning. Bases loaded, nothing came out of it. Seaver, the pitcher's up. He's going to hit a ground ball to short. That will be 1 away. Casey's now up. He needs anything but a 20. He gets a 2, so that's going to be an easy single for him. Casey does have some wheels on him. They're going to try a hit and run here. It's going to be a play for the catcher. And Christian is going to make the play. So that will be 2 down in the top of the third. Dylan's going to hit a ball to Sullivan, the third baseman. Again, one of our infielders. He has a range of 359, which is actually pretty good. And he, unfortunately, is going to make an error. And so that will be, with 2 outs, our second error of the game. Runners on first and second. Eager is going to be up. He's hitting 242, much better than his originally 213. But he's going to pop out. That's going to end the inning. So we enter the bottom of the third. Flood is up. He singled originally. He is now going to hit a ground ball. So that will be the first away. Christian's up. He got on base with an error the last time. He's going to hit it to second. Ryan's going to have to make a play here. He drops it, and again, Christian gets on base with an error. Hart is up. We're going to let him swing away here. He's going to pop out the second. That will be 2 down. Now brings off our leadoff man, Pickering, our center fielder. He's already been on base twice, but this time he's going to be struck out. And so that will end the third. So at the end of 3, Detroit has 1 run on 2 errors, having committed, or 1 run on 2 hits, having committed 2 errors. Cleveland has 4 runs on 7 hits, and likewise have committed 2 errors. So as you can tell, bats are lively on one side, particularly in that first inning. And Detroit has been struggling since the first. But they got McAllister up. He is looking for his first home run of the year. He needs a 4. It's going to be a 9, so he will take a triple. So they get a runner on third early. It's going to be a ground ball to Buelo. We did not bring the infield in this early in the game. He's going to get the easy out, but they are going to get the run. And so now it is 4-2. Ryan is up. He's going to draw a walk. He's going to try to see if he can get a lead. He does not. So Kid Elberfeld's going to be up. He needs a 1-7. It's going to be a 16. So it is going to be a line ball to left field. Genins is going to be able to come in and easily get that. Cipher's up, the pitcher, and that will be a strikeout. So that'll be 2 strikeouts in the game, 1 for each pitcher. We now enter the bottom of the 4th as Detroit did get 1 run back. Up for us is going to be Genins. He's already singled and doubled. He's going to get his 3rd hit of the game, and he will be on base. So now up is LaChance, who has been also had a triple in the first inning with an RBI. He is going to single. We're going to send Genins to 3rd. They're not going to try to get him. That will put runners on the corners. We are going to try to see if we can get a stolen base here. LaChance, wow, take second. They do throw it, surprisingly. And another time that an error for them. It's the second time we've seen an error on a stolen second base, as the pitcher has, or the catcher has thrown it away. So the run will come in, getting the run back that we just gave up in the last inning. And LaChance is on 3rd with no outs. Solomon's up. He is 0 for 2. He needs a 1-2. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. So that is going to be a line out. Buelo's up. He is 1 for 1. He has been intentionally walked. He needs a 1-14 good odds, but unfortunately, he's going to pull a double. It is good enough for a single. It is good enough for an RBI. Next up is Jones, the right fielder, hitting 209. He's going to hit a ground ball to shortstop. Elberfeld's going to have to charge it. He's going to flip it on over to 1st to get the easy out. And Buelo is going to end up on 2nd. So 2 away as Flood is up. He is going to single to left field. We are going to send Buelo. They are not going to try to get him. So we've added 3 more runs in this inning. And now we're going to try to see if Flood can get a better lead. He does not. So Grisham, who's 0 for 2, is going to hit a ground ball to the pitcher. Even though he's 0 for 2, he's been on base both times. This time he does not get on base. Kind of surprised that they continue to keep their pitcher in. I would imagine they would have pulled Cipher by now, but Hart is doing a good job. He's only given up 3 hits, though he has given up 2 runs. But his first batter is going to be a pop-out. That would be Casey. The leadoff man, Jones, who is the center fielder, is going to hit a fly ball to left field to Genins. Genins has good range with a 2, as all of our outfielders have a range of 2. Probably our best at grabbing the ball and not committing errors, and so he did a nice job. So that will be 2 away. Next up is Dylan. He needs a 1-18. He pulls a 16. He's easily going to get on first base. And now up is Yeager. Yeager's going to, looks like something's going to happen at the plate with Grisham. And it will be a passed ball. And so Dylan now takes 2nd. Again, we have a play at the plate. See what Grisham can do. See if he can keep this one in front of him. And no, this time it's going to be a wild pitch. Dylan now goes to 3rd. So after a pass ball and a wild pitch, Dylan has easily advanced to 3rd. Luckily for us, there's 2 outs. Yeager is up, and he is only a 241 hitter. He is going to fly out to right field to end the inning and keeping Dylan stranded at 3rd. Bottom of the 5th we go. Seaver, surprisingly, is still on the mound. And Hart, his competition, is going to hit a ground ball back to him. Seaver, though, will make the play, flip it to 1st, and that will be 1 away. Pickering's up. He is 1 for 2. He is going to pop out for the 2nd out. That is going to make him 1 for 3. Genins, who is 3 for 3, gets his 4th hit of the game. He has just been awesome at the bat. LaChance is 2 for 3. He does have a triple and an RBI. See what he can do here. Unfortunately, that is going to be a strikeout. So, out of the inning, entering the top of the 6th. McAllister's up. He tripled his last time at bat, and this time, though, he is going to pop out to to LaChance. That will be one away. Shaw is 0 for 2, though he does have an RBI. He's going to draw a walk this time. Bringing up Ryan, who is hitting over 300. He is going to hit a fly ball to left field to LaChance, our best outfielder. And LaChance is going to one-hand it. That will be an out. So 2 down, Kid Elberfeld's up. He is hitting 305 for the season. He is 0 for 2 today. And he is going to line out. That will end the inning. And we are now entering the bottom of the 6th. Sullivan, one of the few guys on our team who has not gotten a hit. He's hitting 274 for the season. He does have 71 RBIs versus originally having only 42. So Sullivan's up. He is going to finally get his hit. That will be a 13th hit of the game. So Sullivan is now on first with none away. Buelo is up. He is 2 for 2, has been intentionally walked. He does have 2 RBIs. He needs a 1 to 16. He pulls a 2. So Sullivan now takes second. Buelo's on first. And next up is Jones, the right fielder. Jones is 1 for 3, hitting 207 this year. A horrible number. And he is going to strike out. That looks like that might be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Syver, who continues to stay in the game in spite of having given up 7 runs on 14 hits. Flood is up. He has 2 RBIs. He's 2 for 3 off of 2 singles. He is going to get his 3rd hit of the game. We are going to try to send Sullivan. We are going to try to send trailing runs. And unfortunately, it looks like there is an error on the play, the 4th error for Detroit. 2 runs will score, leaving Flood on 3rd. The game looks like it is out of hand. It is 9-2. Grisham is up. He is 0 for 3. Another guy who has not gotten a hit, but has been on base twice off of errors. And that will be an out. Opposite base hit. Grisham making the turn. Ryan fires it back. Grisham driving back to the bag, and he's nailed. So it's a single, RBI single, so he gets his hit, but is apparently rounded second, rounded first a little bit too aggressively, and slipped while he was doing it. Paying attention, the second baseman, Flood, flipped it over and got him out. So we are now into, actually, nope, the inning's still going on. So Hart now is up. He's going to walk. And Pickering's up. He's 1 for 3, and he's going to pop out. Having not the best day today, even though he's one of the best hitters in the league. But he is going to pop out to end the inning. So after 6 innings, Detroit has 2 runs on only 4 hits and has committed a whopping 4 errors. Cleveland has a large lead with 10 runs on, can you believe it, 16 hits. This might be the most hits that we've been able to have in a game, and they've committed, ironically, only 2 errors. But it is the end of the 6th. We're about to enter the 7th, which means it is time for our player profile. All right, so it's time for the player profile. Today we are doing Cleveland. Instead of doing a player, we're actually doing a franchise. We've done franchises and events in the past, and we're going to continue doing that in this particular series. This is one of my favorite series to do. And so today we're going to be talking about Cleveland, their franchise, and of course their nicknames, as many of you know. 2021 is the last year the baseball franchise in Cleveland will be called the Indians. Next year, they will become called the Cleveland Guardians. Though I understand the reasons from it, from a social justice, political, all the history there. It's just going to be hard to watch the classic Major League Baseball movie in the Tribe and without having the Indians. It's just, part of baseball movie history. But Cleveland started in the mid-1860s as an amateur baseball league amateur team. They were called the Forest Cities, pretty much just known as Forest Cities. But then in 1869, following the success of the first professional baseball team, the Cincinnati Red Stockings. The Forest Cities of Cleveland became a professional baseball team. They were part of the original and the first professional baseball league, the National Association of Professional Baseball Players, which started in 1871. The Forest Cities of Cleveland were able to last until 1872, but then the team ended up folding. In 1879, they came back, part of the National League, which had replaced the National Association. The National League obviously is still in existence today, but they existed from 1879 to 1884. They were known as the Cleveland Forest City, so they did change their name just a little bit. But in 1882, the National League required teams to have colors associated with their team. Cleveland obviously wore the color blue, and so in 1882 they became known as the Cleveland Blues. The team lasted until about 1884, when unfortunately a new league came up, one of which was the Union Association, and they three of their best players, Jim McCormick, Jack Glasscock, and Fred Dunlap, left the Cleveland team to go to the Union Association for better salaries. Recognizing that they had lost their best players, Cleveland decided they either need to close and fold or they need to merge, and what they end up doing is they end up merging with the St. Louis Maroons of the Union Association and becoming part of their franchise. But with this ended the franchise in 1884 in Cleveland, and so they were without a team. In 1887, though, a new team came back. They were originally called the Cleveland Spiders, and they were part of the American Association. They eventually became part of the National League when in 1889 the American Association folded and crumbled. They did really, really well. Particularly, was a good contender. They were called the Spiders at this time. The main reason they were called the Spiders is because the players on their team apparently were all skinny and had lanky legs. And so they just became known as the Spiders, as that's what the news media and reporters called them, based off of the way they looked. But they also had the name the Blues that was used pretty interchangeably. And they did really well into the 1890s. They ended up competing and winning the Temple Cup, which was like the World Series of the 1890s. Their last one being in 1895, but then suddenly the team started to struggle and suffer. During the same time of around 1890, there was another team that came out of Cleveland that was very popular. They were called the Cleveland Infants. They were a team that was part of the Player Association, and they were called the Infants or the Babes primarily because all their players were younger. They got young talent, and so they were just simply called the Cleveland Infants or the Cleveland Babes. But they kind of stuck around, had a good following. This became really important when you understand that there's two teams that were in Cleveland. One was from the National League, that more well known, and then you have the Cleveland Infants or the Babes that were there. But the Cleveland team only continued for about one season, but that name, the Babes and the Infants, was there already in Cleveland. But what really changed history in Cleveland was in 1899 when the owners, the Robison brothers, specifically Frank Robison, no N in that, so Robison, prior to the 1899 season, purchased the St. Louis Browns. And what he ended up doing is he took all of his talent that he had in Cleveland and shipped them all over to St. Louis. And so Cleveland was without any talent. The St. Louis franchise became, though they were called the Browns, became commonly known as the Perfectos because they had all the top talent between two teams. And obviously this sounds illegal, but it wasn't at the time. But the 1899 Cleveland Spiders were by far the worst team in baseball history. They won only 20 games out of 152. That is a 130 winning percentage. They ended up 84 games out of first place. And so they were so dreadful that other teams refused to come to Cleveland. because no fans wanted to come watch them play. So fans would, or other teams would come, they would get a piece of the ticket sales, but teams recognized that there wasn't even enough money on the ticket sales to be able to afford the travel and the hotels and the food for the players. So they just stopped coming. And so what ended up happening is Cleveland in 1899 spent almost their entire season on the road. They got the nickname the Cleveland Wanderers because of that. But when the National League at the end of 1899 decided to go down to 8 teams, the Cleveland franchise was cut out, and so Cleveland again was without a franchise. But the very next year, they got a new team. The Grand Rapids Rustlers decided to, they were part of the Western League, and in 1900, they moved to Cleveland, and they were given the name the Cleveland Lake Shores. But because it was a new team, they were part of the Western League. Most of their players were minor leaguers. They were very young for the most part. The team got the nickname in the media, even though they were called the Cleveland Lake Shores, they were given the name the Babes, like the 1890 team that they recognized in their city's history. That name lasted for 1 year. In 1901, they changed their name to the Bluebirds, but the players hated that name. Didn't sound like a very professional baseball team. So they ended up becoming commonly known as the Blues in 1901, recognizing that their players did not like the name the Bluebirds. They changed it in 1902 to the Broncos. They did spell it with an H, which was totally weird. And that name lasted for about a year. But then in 1903, the history of Cleveland's baseball franchise changed, where they ended up getting Napoleon Lajoie. And so they got the nickname the Cleveland Napoleons, soon shortened to the Cleveland Naps in 1903. And so the Cleveland Naps were part of the American League, and that is what they were known for many, many, many years until Napoleon Lajoie ended up retiring and leaving Cleveland, no longer being a player or a manager. And so when he ended, Lajoie and had a feud with the manager Joe Birmingham, the team was sold to Lajoie, the team sold Lajoie back to the Athletics, which is where he came from, the Philadelphia Athletics. And so in 1915, they recognized they needed to change their name again, and then they got the name the Cleveland Indians. This was based on the input of some of the local baseball writers. It referred to the nickname of Indians that was applied to the Cleveland Spiders baseball club during the time when Louis Sockalexis, a Native American, played in Cleveland for at the end of the 19th century. So the Indians name stuck from 1915 all the way until 2021. This is the last year. They will eventually be called the Cleveland Guardians, but in this year they are called the Cleveland Lake Shores is their official name, but they are commonly known as the Cleveland Babes because the Grand Rapids Rustlers had come there, a minor league team. They were very, very young. They were a brand new team to Cleveland after their original franchise had left, and so they were called the Cleveland Babes. And now you know. And as Joe says, knowing is half the battle, and he's a real American hero. So let's get back to the action. All right, so back to the action we are. And Hart is still on the mound for Cleveland. He has only given up 2 runs, both of which were earned, but he's only allowed 4 hits. And so some errors have helped to that, to advance runners. But top of the 7th, here we go. Harley is up, the pinch hitter that they finally bring in to get rid of Sivers. And unfortunately for them, he is going to ground out to second base. That'll be 1 away. Casey's up. He is going to line out to first base to LaChance. And so next up is Jones, the number 2 hitter, the center fielder. He's going to hit a ground ball to shortstop. Buelo is going to have to make a play. He does not in time. That will be counted as an error as he seemed to struggle with the ball, pulling Buelo or LaChance off the bag. So that would be an error. Next up is Dylan. He needs a 1 to 3 for a triple. He's going to get a 16. That'll be a single. That should put runners on the corners. Yeager is up. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI, and unfortunately he's going to line out. That'll end the inning. And now we go to the trivia question. Name 2 of the 4 pitchers who struck out at least 13 batters in a World Series game. For some reason, I want to say Roger Clemens, and I thought Mike Mussina did it. Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, Carl Eskin, and Harold Emke. So I wasn't right on either of those. Apparently Bob Gibson did it twice. So my streak of horrid answers continues. So bottom of the 7th, Genins, who is 4 for 4. Wow, he's on fire. He is now 5 for 5. Incredible game for him. As Cronin, by the way, came in to become the new pitcher. Genins, who had gotten picked off at first already early in the first inning, is not going to be able to get a lead. But LaChance is up. He is 2 for 4 with a triple. He's going to hit a fly ball to center field. That is going to be the first out. Next up is going to be Sullivan, the third baseman. He is 1 for 4. He's going to hit a ground ball to the second baseman. Ryan is not able to handle the ball, panics, throws it away. It is a single with an error, so now runners are on second and third. Buelo, who's 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs, including an intentional walk, is up. He is going to hit a ground ball to second. They don't have the infield in, so that should score a run. And so that will make 2 out, but we had another run. Jones is up. He's 1 for 4. I'm curious to see if there's anybody who has not gotten a hit for us. And he's going to ground out the short. That will end the inning. So Hart is still got some juice left in his arm. So he's going to be facing McAllister, who does have a triple today, and he's going to get a single. So he's got 2 of the 6 hits for the team. Next up is Shaw. He does have an RBI. They're going to try a hit and a run. And it looks like this could be something interesting. Hit it where they ain't. So he scores a double. Man, I hate not being able to see the card or the sheet. I just wish we had that option. But anyways, Hart is gave up his 3rd run now. It is going to be Ryan's at the bat. He needs a 1. He's not going to get it. It'll be a 14, so that's going to be a fly out the center. That'll be the first out. Next up is Elberfeld. He needs a 1 to 7. He's going to get a 6. That'll be a single. Runner's going to hold a 3rd. Runner's on the corners. Wouldn't be surprised if they bring in a pinch hitter. They do. So Ducky Holmes is swinging the bat. He'll come up for Jack Cronin. So it is going to be a 1 to 10. He had a 50% chance for a double. He gets a single. And that is going to be the runners continuing at the corner. This might be, if they give up another hit, this might be Hart's last batter. He's going to strike out, so he makes an emphatic message to the manager that he's still good. Jones, who is over 4, though, to get on base with an error already. And it looks like this is going to be an out. And so pitcher is injured on the play, but shakes it off and can continue in the game. So that's going to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Flood is up. He is 3 for 4. It looks like he has 3 RBIs in the game. He's hitting 254. He needs a 1 to 5. He's going to get a 5. His 4th hit, our 19th hit of the game. Krisham is up. He is 1 for 4. He's been on base already a couple times with errors, but this time he's going to line out. So that'll be an out. And so the only person who has not gotten a hit is Hart. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to pinch hit for him. Let's bring in Shea, maybe. We're going to go with Fave Cross to hit. He comes to the bat. He's going to single. Now we have 20 hits in the day. Runners on the corners. Probably doing like a broken rule, or the rule that you're not supposed to do. which is trying to steal when you're up 11-4 by 7 runs in the bottom of the 8th. But this is Strat-O-Matic. So Pickering's up. Ooh, and he's going to strike out. So here comes the 5-for-5 man. He has no runs scored, no doubles, but he is 5 for 5. So Genins is up again. He is now going to get his 6th hit. I mean, this is incredible. I just want the guy to get a run. I mean, the fact that you get 6 hits and haven't had an RBI or a run is incredible. LeChance is up. He is 2 for 5. He's going to draw a walk. So with 2 outs, we now got a hit and a walk. Sullivan's up. He's 2 for 5. He has at least scored a run. So let's see what he can do in this situation. He's going to rip a single. Finally, Genins gets to cross home plate. If he can beat the run, which I would imagine they're not even going to try, he does. And so that is going to be finally Genins going to cross home plate. It is 14 runs. This game is a blowout. Buelo is up. He's 3 for 4. He's got 3 RBIs. He's going to hit the McAllister. McAllister's going to have to make a play, and he does. And so that will end the inning. 3 more runs added. It is 14-4 going into the top of the 9th. We just need to find somebody to come in here to end this game. I'm trying to look real quick. Roost, maybe. Trying to see who doesn't have a lot of innings pitched, because if there's ever a game where you probably want to put somebody in for some experience, this is it. Egan barely has even seen the mound, so I think we're going to go with him. He's only pitched 10 innings so far this year, so we'll give him a shot. Even if he's horrible, he might have a shot. His card is dreadfully bad, by the way. First guy up is Dylan. He's going to get a single. Yeager's going to be up. Actually, this is probably one of those few times that we want the dice to roll on the hitter's card. But that's going to be 1 out. Another time, 1-18. So they're going to put runners on first and second. Another single. So there's a reason Egan's only pitched 10 innings. He's getting the bases loaded. It looks like there's going to be a pop out. And unfortunately, it's going to go to Flood. But it looks like there's going to be an injury on the play. Batter injured, he'll have to sit out the rest of the game. Ryan's going to be out, and now Kid Elberfeld is up. And see if he can get out of it. Nope, he's going to walk in a run. Come on, Egan, let's get out of this. Ground ball to first base. Luckily, our LeChance is a good fielder, and he's not going to make the play. Pitcher's injured, he'll have to sit out 15 days. So... We gave Egan a shot, and he's just absolutely dreadful, for sure. That was just bad. So who else can we put in here? I feel like we probably should just end the inning now and try to get somebody who's somewhat decent on the mound here. So Smythe is going to come up now, and he's going to get the guy to line out. That will end the inning. 14-6. They do get 4 runs in the last 2 innings, but obviously they're so far behind it didn't even matter. So this game was actually kind of fun. I mean, it was a long game. I mean, we're talking 35 hits between the 2 teams until Egan came in. Though they really weren't doing much, to be honest with you. But in my opinion, the player of the game. Oh, Genins did have 3 runs scored. I apologize. So they weren't showing the runs, but he scored 3 times. He did have an RBI. He was 6 for 6. It's not even close who the player of the game is in this one. Hart does get the win. He did give up 9 hits in 8 innings. He did allow 4 runs. 3 of them are earned. He walked 3, struck out 2. Obviously, not a bad showing for him, but when you're up by a ton, it's pretty easy. I mean, when he walked out of the game, it was 14-4. So, but left fielder Frank Genins had 6 hits and scored 3 times as the Cleveland Braves outscored the Detroit Wolverines 14-6. Cleveland jumped out to an early lead in the first inning as they scored 4 runs on 6 base hits. Cleveland provided plenty of action in the first inning when they had 4 runs on 6 hits. I just said that. Why would they repeat it? That was just really weird. Cleveland had 22 hits overall, while Detroit had 13. The winning pitcher was Bill Hart, who allowed 4 runs in 8 innings. Ed Cypher, 10-5, was hit with the loss. He got hit pretty hard, allowing 16 hits and 3 walks in 6 innings. Egan, it showed why he might be the worst pitcher in the league. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, and walked the guy. His ERA is 13.09. So, and he pitched 26, had 26 pitches. So, Smythe came in at the end. He pitched through 6 pitches, got the out at the end of the game. With a lead like that you don't get a save. But until next time, this is Coach DK. Hope you guys have a good one. See you soon.